Their CEO is getting paid, let me make sure I get this right, in 2024, Amazon's president earned $40.1 million in total compensation. According to their own financial disclosures, Amazon's average worker, average employee worldwide is making $37,181. $37,181. So that's a C-suite to employee ratio of 1,078 to 1.
Corporate power in America has reached levels never seen before. Senator Josh Hawley just called out Amazon, the richest company on earth, for exploiting American workers while executives rake in millions. In this hearing, Hawley and Teamsters President Sean O'Brien expose how megacorporations are reshaping our economy and why it's time to fight back. Stay tuned as we break down how Amazon's empire thrives on worker exploitation, why the government is finally stepping in, and what it really takes to hold these woke corporations accountable.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for calling this hearing. Thanks again to the witnesses for being here. I want to start with you, Mr. O'Brien, but first let's just do a little bit of context. We are here to diagnose the issue. I think that's diagnose the problem. That's the title of the hearing. So let's just take a look at what the problem is that's staring us right in the face, which is the rise of these giant corporations like Amazon, for example, the biggest corporations in the history of America, the biggest corporations in the history of the world, the richest corporations in the history of the world. They're making money like we've never seen before, but they don't want to pay their workers. A lot of times they don't even want to have workers. They don't want to have American workers. Look at Amazon. Here's their net sales and net income. In 2024, Amazon's net sales topped $600 billion, $637 billion to be exact. Their net income doubled from 2023 to 2024. Doubled. Their CEO is getting paid, let me make sure I get this right, in 2024, Amazon's president earned $40.1 million in total compensation. 40.1. The previous year, he'd earned merely 29.2. I mean, that's an unbelievable, that's great work if you can get it. That's an unbelievable raise. Only problem is, according to their own financial disclosures, Amazon's average worker, average employee worldwide is making $37,181. $37,181. So that's a C-suite to employee ratio of 1,078 to 1. And meanwhile, these guys are fighting you, Mr. O'Brien, every step of the way as you try to get some basic representation for their workers, for their drivers. Tell us about what you've been facing from this company.
I'll get this right at one point. Amazon is probably the largest violator of the NLRA right now. And they have grown significantly, to your point. They focus on 150% turnover ratio in their workforce. They focus on distressed communities. And the number one violator of OSHA, they've got the most violations last time we checked. Now, we have a model that's a similar company that employs similar workforce at United Parcel Service, 340,000 Teamsters that are part-time and full-time. Those part-timers earn full-time benefits, health and welfare and pension. They earn wage increases guaranteed every year. They earn a livable wage. And most importantly, they have a path to a full-time career that on the average, the UPS full-time employee makes about $140,000 per year for doing the same business. And UPS is a very profitable business.
Boy, you talk about $140,000 and change. You talk about that versus $37,000. I'm just thinking back to your reference to rerum novarum, the dignity of the individual. I mean, how are you supposed to raise a family on $37,000? The difference between that and what you've been able to secure at UPS is incredible. Let me just ask you this. Amazon is also one of the biggest offenders when it comes to not negotiating with workers who've decided to unionize. You mentioned Staten Island. I think they're still waiting for a first.
Yeah, Staten Island was organized in 2022 under the ALU. It took a certain amount of time to get certified. Once certified, the intent is to sit down and bargain a contract. We actually represent those workers now. In 3 years, we have not been able to get them to a table. It's been stall tactics, obviously challenging the constitutionality of the NLRA, but also filing charges at the NLRA, NLRB, so they are contradicting themselves every turn of the way just to use union avoidance. And I believe there was a article in the Economic Policy Institute, which was dead on, that stated Amazon has zero intention of engaging in real good faith collective bargaining with representatives of Staten Island workers. In fact, their business model, which relies on high worker turnover and avoiding responsibility for their employees, is designed to make union organizing nearly impossible.
In that context, tell us why the Faster Labor Contracts Act is so important to put a shot clock on these big corporations so they can't just say, well, you voted to unionize, good luck to you. We're never, ever going to sit down and talk to you.
Yeah, the Faster Labor Contracts Act has timelines. It has consequences for bad behavior. And I think it's important that if and when this Faster Labor Contracts Act is passed, bad actors like Amazon will be forced to the table, will be forced to negotiate, and will have to agree to a first-time contract without retaliating against the employees. And you will see a continued workforce that has a future under this Faster Labor.
I just want to say this in conclusion, Mr. Chairman. Many folks on our side of the aisle talk about their concern about woke corporations, and I'm worried about woke corporations too. You want to make woke corporations a thing of the past? Make them accountable to the American worker. Empower the American worker. Give them a voice. That's the solution. Thank you, sir.
Senator Josh Hawley didn't hold back in this powerful hearing, calling out Amazon and other megacorporations for exploiting American workers while executives pocket millions. He said it's time to diagnose the problem. And the problem is clear. Corporate greed has concentrated unprecedented power and wealth in the hands of a few, while small businesses and working families struggle to survive. In 2024, Amazon sales hit an unbelievable $637 billion, with profits doubling from the year before. Their CEO took home $40 million, while the average worker earned just $37,000, a shocking pay gap of 1,078 to 1. Teamsters President Sean O'Brien called it what it is, corporate feudalism, and said Amazon's fortune is built on violating labor laws, exploiting distressed communities, and driving a 150% worker turnover rate. He contrasted Amazon with UPS, where unionized workers earn an average of $140,000 with benefits, pensions, and real career paths, proving that worker representation makes all the difference. Meanwhile, Amazon continues to resist union efforts, especially at its Staten Island warehouse, where employees voted to unionize in 2022 but still don't have a contract. The company has stalled negotiations and fought workers every step of the way. Corporate America has had its say for too long. Now it's time for working Americans to be heard. If you stand with workers, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video because the fight to hold corporate power accountable starts with awareness.